damage here, but again, saying that he does major damage, that's pretty much a given with the 3 racers that we have in here. So, yeah,
Right.
It's going to be a close race.
Looks like we're starting off, and all of our runners are starting off at Link's house, getting that single rupee in the chest. Link is not a very good saver, apparently.
Yeah, and wow, we got like 3 different routing choices based on where they're going right now, too.
Yep. So ACM is taking the more or less guaranteed bomb route through the south part of Kakariko here. Gyarados taking the Uncle route, which is pretty popular these days. It gets you a few good items. It gets you the ability to do escape if you're lucky enough to find a weapon in these first 2 items. And it also gives you like extra tree pulls and like item drops and stuff. While Elminster is going directly towards Kakariko via the forest and lumberjack. And
ooh, that's a good bush crab item.
Unfortunately, Elminster kills the bush crab.
That's true, but single bombs, that's really good to get right here. And there's another bush crab in the forest too, so if he needs a little more, he can grab him there as well.
So what do we have? The race game. Some money. That's actually really nice.
Ooh, yeah, very nice. We have even more money in the lumberjack tree, so I don't see that being gotten.
Well, it depends on whether or not ACM decides to check lumberjack. Gyarados is making his way there right now as we speak. Looks like the cape is in the library, so that's good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think we must have missed it, but Gyarados must have gotten the Moon Pearl from the uncle.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. I guess I looked away for a tiny second to look at something else. Yeah, he did get the Moon Pearl. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was looking at the yellow player.
Oh yeah, that yellow player. Yeah, ACM used from the race game to get some bombs. When you get that much at a location, yeah, you might as well just go ahead and buy them. You'll probably get more rupees to build back up to 500.
And we find our first sword in the forest thief hut as well. So nice. We're not going to be swordless for much longer unless ACM decides to skip that location.
We also got a map check. We have crystals in both Eastern and Hera. The Eastern one being one of the 5-6 crystals, and then a blue pendant at the Desert Palace, or it may have just been a red pendant. Just one of the pendants that's not green.
We just got boots.
Oh wow! Okay.
Bottle vendor. That's really good. So these racers aren't going to be very slow unless, honestly, like the route Gyarados taking, he might not have the money. Though Elminster looks like he'll have enough once he goes through the well. So I guess they'll probably will all have boots here within like a minute or so.
Here's a question: do you think ACM is going to go back and get the cape?
It's a good question. I mean, the cape, obviously doesn't block a lot of things. It's good to have, obviously, if you have trouble with execution, or if you want to do something like Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I don't know. Judging by how ACM has played in the past, I think he might go grab it.
Okay. Thankfully, that's not a too bad. Oh no, I'm gonna save and quit right away. I was getting ready to say that yeah. Chances are he may just leave it for later, and just in case he does need it for Bumper Cave, or if he's in the area again, he can just pick it up really quickly.
But notice I said, oh wait, never mind. ACM, it looks like he's gonna be making his way towards Lumberjack. Oh wait, no, the Bonk Rocks. Okay.
Oh yeah, Bonk Rocks, yep.
So ACM might actually be swordless for a little while here.
That's true, yeah. Well, he's not going to be gloveless, though, that's for sure.
Yep, the glove will open up another few items here. But it looks like ACM is going to be taking the route up to Lumberjack and might even check out the mountain. We don't have the lamp yet, but that's not necessarily a problem.
Yeah, definitely not for him. Yeah, and it's also good just get that respawn point taken care of too.
Yep. Elminster picks up the cape, which not really surprising at all, honestly. And Elminster is opting to actually grab those 300 rupees in the racing game, even though he has to take the long way back around.
Yeah, I think that's pretty understandable, especially this early. Just want to kind of get Zora taken care of, and you never know how the rupee distribution is going to be.
Well, good for ACM. He'll be having a sword now that he actually checked the Forest Thief hut. This does leave the mountain kind of hanging. I mean, it's a sequence break, obviously, but there's a very real possibility that something good is up there.
It's as you kind of said earlier, ACM does kind of still try to follow the logic when he can, so he might be kind of thinking that along those lines as well. I don't have the lamp yet. It's not telling me to go up here yet, so I don't have to get it right away.
Mm-hmm. So 2 of our runners now are probably going to be entering the castle proper here, and we'll see what's in the basement there. They do have the glove, so they'll be able to take the back entrance into the back of Escape, but if they're lucky, they might find a key in the front half and be able to skip that entirely while checking the dark chest.
Yeah, I always see runners whenever they get a sword this early, because you kind of have a selection once you kind of clear out Kakariko, where you have Escape, you have the eastern area, and you have the southern shore. I find that if you get a sword, it might be good to do Escape, just because you have the capability of getting through it pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. And g3rd0 picking up Bombos there in the back of Escape.
Ooh, not bad. That could actually really help out in the key route room if they'd have to go in there, but probably not.
So, almost 7.5 minutes in, g3rd0, I guess, is the first runner who's actually making his way to the South Shore area. Which, I mean, it's not that late, but it's not that often you see something like the castle basement this early.
Yeah, that is true, and kind of interesting when you think about it, because in standard seeds, that's the first thing you do, so...
That's probably, like, the biggest thing to get used to for open mode. Like, swordless, I don't care. I can just throw bombs at things or bushes at things, but, forgetting Escape was just, like, the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, and there's so many, I mean, there's not, like, a whole lot of chests, but there are some chests there, and it's always open. It's open near the beginning of the logic anyway, so it's like, anything could be there. I got a, Master Sword, Flute, and some other items, but yeah, from Mini Molar and Cave paying off definitely.
Yep, and g3rd0 is gonna go directly and activate that flute, which I think is a good routing choice. Sometimes I find the flute there or in like the dam and completely forget about the fact that I can actually activate it and just flute to, towards where the Ice Rod Cave is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is pretty good routing. And Elminster is making his way towards Eastern Palace. Interestingly enough, not going inside, though. So, item-wise, there's something interesting that's been happening. The items we have, there's one place we can go that these runners don't want to go to yet, and that's acmlm.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're only a lamp away from that being in the logic, so
Oh right, I forgot about the lamp. Always forget about the lamp.
That happens all the time too. Yeah.
But we are one item away from both Aghanim and general Dark World access.
Yeah, that lamp could either be at Zora, it could be at Agina too. Oh, they can't get to Death Mountain. It could be on Death Mountain as well.
If I find both the Master Sword and the Cape early on, that's like, I'm
Yeah,
just
that.
like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, that pretty much is like, okay, you're better get used to the idea of doing Aghanim because you're probably gonna have to.
Interestingly enough, Gyarados deciding to go directly to the mountain and take the old man back to his cave house thing. Unfortunately, getting dead-rocked along the way. Elminster is getting a bottle here in the dark sewer, I believe.
Yep, that's what it was. Oh, the bottles do also put Sick Kid as an option as well.
Mm-hmm. So nothing great at the mountain so far. Looks like Gyarados gonna be heading towards the front of Escape.
Yeah, because I don't think he's done that yet like the other two runners, so that's where he's going next.
So from what we've seen, like, aren't the only places that these guys haven't checked yet are Agina, Eastern Palace, and Sick Kid, right?
And Zora as well, but yeah,
yes.
pretty much.
So we're running pretty low on locations.
We really are.
And the fact that, again, it's one item for either Dark World access or Aghanim access, it's starting to look a bit like an Aghanim seed. Or, not an Aghanim seed, Aghanim.
Yeah. And another way you could look at it, though, like, there's technically 2 item possibilities for Dark World access, though, because we could also get the other glove as well. So, you know, there are more options for Dark World, but yeah, I find that you don't always want to bank on that, so it's whatever that next item turns out to be.
So ACM will probably be entering Eastern Palace here, honestly, because he's more or less cleared the rest of the locations available to him. So if the item we need is in Eastern, he has a nice little lead.
Yeah, he's definitely playing the numbers right now, and that's where the highest volume of chests are at the moment, so could definitely pay off going there.
Elminster is making the Sick Kid play, it looks like. So we'll see what happens there. Oh wait, he's also got to activate the flute. But he'd be a fool not to check that Sick Kid.
Yeah, I have seen a couple of races where that Sick Kid did come into play. As easy as it is to write off fetch quests, it's nothing you should ever do, especially if you're in the area. Oh!
That is massive.
Yes, that is huge.
Elminster grabbing the Titan's mitt from the Sick Kid, who was apparently a power lifter before he became Hell. We also get a Dark World map check, and it looks like The green pendant is Turtle Rock, and Thieves Town is another pendant. I did not see what... Oh, it looks like Meyer was one of 5 and 6.
Yeah, Meyer was the other 5 and 6 combo.
So without the hammer or the flippers, we don't technically have access to the east side of Dark World, but if we were to get... Actually, I think since we have the boots, if any of these runners wanted to set up a water walk, they could do that. But I doubt we'll be seeing that anytime soon.
Yeah, that's the thing. Aghanim is still not off the table yet. I get the blue mail from the C-shaped house. But yeah, there is always the chance, and looking at the crystals just to verify... Yeah, I think there is still a possibility for Hammer to be at the Pyramid Ferry.
Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see... I saw Gyardo go into Misery Mire. I don't think... Or I didn't see what medallion it was to enter, but considering Gyardo didn't enter it, I'm going to assume it's not Bombos.
Probably not.
So now all of our runners have that Dark World access, and ACM is just going to be doing the same thing Elminster is doing. I do like the play Elminster's doing in not going into Thieves Town, which, unless ACM finds the hammer here in Skull Woods, is probably what I expect ACM to do as well.
Yeah, because they cannot technically full clear Thieves Town right now without the hammer. Now, there could always be like a dungeon item in that chest, or just an item they don't need, but just kind of leaving that loose end around is never a good thing or a good feeling.
Mm. And seeing Pendant Thieves Town is very interesting in terms of, like, you know, certain runners hate going into pendant dungeons more than others.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these runners might just try and gamble on it not having anything good in it. But like the very real possibility is that Thieves Town is just loaded.
Yeah, with version 27, you have to be careful of that because it just items favor dungeons. If you can get into a dungeon, chances are there could be an item in there, so it's always risky to just skip out on dungeons just because they're pendants.
And ACM taking a bit of a death. I don't know if that was intentional. And it looks like Skull Woods isn't going to be very profitable for our runners today. At least the front side.
Yeah, unlike the last version, version 26, Skull Woods just has not been as profitable in this version of the logic compared to the last version. Also, Elminster did get the Tempered Sword. Apparently that was in Hype Cave, or the old Hype Cave anyway.
It's good to know. I doubt any of these runners are going to be skipping out on Hype Cave today. Kind of interesting that ACM quit out after Skull Woods and just decided to flute back to Kakariko to get into, I believe, Thieves Town, or at least like the South Dark World loop.
Yeah, interesting play there. If I know ACM, he has his reasons, so I'm not gonna doubt someone who beats me very consistently and weekly races.
I mean, I wouldn't really doubt any of these runners in their routing. Like,
True. Yeah.
They all have
definitely.
reasons for why they do what they do.
Exactly.
And honestly, it might just come down to what worked out for them in the past, which can end up being kind of tragic because obviously no two seeds are alike.
Yeah. You can try to metagame the logic as much as you want, but sometimes it just won't work out for you.
So interestingly enough, we did get a better look at the Misery Mire medallion, and it is Bombo, so they do have access to Misery Mire. So
yeah.
It is a bit interesting that Gyarados decided to not enter it. I mean, we don't have a fire source. That might be the #1 reason why. Because that does lock out 2 chests in the left side of Misery Mire.
Yeah, no fire source, no cane to finish it. And I mean, these racers know their dark rooms, so it's not necessarily the lamp, but that is potentially another reason as well. Just because Mire Dark Rooms, I think, is one of the harder dark rooms to get through. But these runners can definitely handle it, I'm sure.
So yeah, it looks like most of our runners are just playing catch-up to each other at the moment. So I guess we could take some time to see what we need to finish the seed and what things could be in, say, the pedestal.
Okay, let's do that.
So we obviously need the bow, we need the flippers, right? Yep, we need the flippers, we need a fire rod, and the hammer, and the cane, and the mirror. So we need
a lot of stuff. Hook shot as well.
And the hook shot. I always forget about that. So a ton of these things could honestly be on the pedestal, like the bow, the hook shot, the flippers. Yeah, the flippers could be there.
Yep.
The hammer cannot, nor the cane. But the mirror could. So what's that, 4 items? 5?
Something like that. We know Fire Rod can't because of Turtle Rock.
So yeah, the pedestal hype index is still quite high, especially considering nobody's found a book yet.
Definitely. And we are only 23 minutes in, too, so it's still very early. I'm sure we'll have a moment where the items just start kind of pouring out one by one once they kind of get on the right path again.
So, true to form, unless I missed it, Elminster is the first player to enter Thieves Town. Again, it's a pendant, but that doesn't necessarily change the value that it could hold.
Definitely not.
And it goes back to how I said, like, that's kind of what Elminster does. He just wants to do dungeons and skip out Overworld because Overworld is dumb. But Gyarados heading into Misery Mire.
Okay, interesting.
Still doesn't have a fire source, though, but doesn't mean that there's not one in here.
Yeah, and the race that was that's still probably going on the other channel, Kana Samaria was in Misery Mire, so Kane could be in here as well.
So Elminster and ACM are more or less taking similar routes now. I think ACM might have checked more overworld. I mean, I'm almost sure of it. But yeah, ACM is kind of playing like safer plays. I mean, I guess going independent Thieves Town is not as safe, especially when you don't have Hammer, but it's safer in terms of like the items you have. Like you have your Tempered Sword, you're not going to have any trouble. And your Blue Mail and 9 hearts.
Right.
And you can complete it. Well, it looks like, unless Blind himself holds anything, Thieves Town is kind of a bust. Except for that chest, which we won't be seeing for a little while.
Yeah, that one chest is because both map and compass were in the first part of Thieves Town, so yeah, there is something in that chest still.
Just a piece of heart from Blind, so no actual value from Thieves Town just yet.
Got a mushroom in Misery Mire. Could be some value there. It is a fetch quest item.
Yeah. Gyarados got to be a little bit faster on that bridge without the hook shot to get across quickly.
And looks like Gordo is locked out of the rest of Misery Mire because he doesn't have that fire source we talked about. So.
Yep, but we do have the mushroom, and it looks like that's probably what Gyarados going to be doing here in a second.
Yeah. Mushroom's always, like, I feel like the best fetch item to get out of the way, because if you have Flute, it's just right there. You can take care of it whenever you think you need to.
Yeah, it's also incredibly easy to forget about if you don't get it out of the way right away, but it doesn't pay off right now. The Witches only had a single big 20 for it.
Oh, I am thinking, where do they want our runners to go here?
Aghanim? No, we don't have the lamp yet. So we can't get to Palace of Darkness, which is why I said Aghanim.
Yeah.
But,
Has Purple Chest been taken care of? I saw someone had the Smith earlier, but...
I don't believe Purple Chest has been checked. Aegina's Cave, I don't think has been checked.
Oh, no, it hasn't.
There's also Zora.
Yep, Zora's there too. Only one of our runners have enough for Zora right now.
Yeah, but we do have the ability to Houlihan. And I assume like all of these runners know how. We could even do the Flipperlo strats if we really want to.
Yeah.
If I were these runners right now, I would probably get the money for Zora and then do the fake flippers there, especially considering I have the flute, it's really quick.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely.
Unfortunately, our yellow player still has yet to find any items.
Yeah, really falling behind. I don't know if their routing is just not on par today, or just the green mail so far.
So Elminster is kind of catching up in terms of general progression. I don't know if Gyarados has gone through Eastern Palace, but ACM has. And I think ACM is kind of exhausted like everything available to him right now, except for some of those stray locations. We'll see what ACM decides to do right now. So honestly, I think ACM is in the lead, depending on what, like, who finds the next big item next.
Was Ice Cave checked at all?
Maybe not, because all these runners did find that flute right before they would have gone over there.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Nothing important.
Love.
Oh, okay. Chat's saying that it was checked. It's okay. Yeah, like you said though, it's kind of hard to say just because it is the flu. It's a very easy location to get back to, so they probably could have written it off.
So it looks like ACM is going to be checking Agina's Cave, which, I mean, ACM probably would have been better served entering Mire, but we know there's nothing good in there.
Yeah, except that mushroom, and that didn't lead in anything good either, so...
This might be an incredibly big troll if something is good here. Nope.
Nope.
Zora, I guess. Right?
Okay, that's what Elminster might be setting up right here, so yeah, we might be seeing that.
Elminster... First going to be checking Hobo, probably. Nothing good on the ledge, just big 20. ACM... What is ACM? Oh, ACM... That's weird. ACM is deciding to do the rupee farm here in this cave instead of just doing Houlihan strats. And the Hobo has the lamp.
So flippers, that means flippers are somewhere near. Maybe vanilla flippers today.
Maybe, but that lamp? If it's vanilla flippers, you know what that lamp means, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what that means.
That means Gyarados gonna get a... Gyarados or Elminster. I don't know if ACM does the water walk, but one of these runners will probably end up doing water walk if a quote-unquote forced Aga is the case.
Mm-hmm.
But Gyarados is checking the purple chest as well, which I think is the first we're going to be seeing it checked.
Ooh, Canis Samaria in the waterfall cave.
Interesting. If ACM really wanted to, he could go finish Mire right now.
That's true, he could.
Did ACM not check Hobo?
I don't think he did, no. No, I think he just went straight to the Zora area.
That's gotta hurt for him, especially, you know, if Fire Rod continues to elude these runners.
Ooh, hook shot at Zora, though. Okay, so flippers or more progression could be on Death Mountain.
Huh. So at this point, unless ACM finds Fire Rod in East Death Mountain, I think Elminster has a clear advantage.
Yeah, I definitely say that too right now.
But Gyarados kind of exhausting locations as well, so we'll see what he ends up doing soon enough. Starting at the mountain cave, but only really using it as a place to get a quick flute off.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what's inside Paradox Caves. ACM is the first runner to get here. Elminster's behind, but again, Elminster does have that advantage in the lamp, especially if say, a Hammer is here and Hera is fire blocked.
That's true, yeah. There's the hammer right there.
Welp. ACM needs to hope for a Fire Rod.
I'm just interested to see where those flippers are right now, honestly.
Well, think of dark rooms, like what dungeons need dark rooms and how they block progression. Like the only dungeon where the dark room blocks a lot of progression is Turtle Rock. So really, if Aghanim isn't required, Lamp could be very late in the game, by the logic.
Or wait, you mean flippers? Because you said lamp.
No, I mean the lamp, because the flippers lead to lamp. So that's why, like, so the flippers obviously lead to lamp, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the flippers, you know, are nearby in terms of the sequence.
Okay, yeah, that's what you're saying. I gotcha.
So we'll see if Hera has anything in the basement, which could be very painful for ACM.
Yeah. Also, our two runners on the left have silvers now.
I've been having some buffering on my end. Were silvers inside Hera?
Either Hera or the 5 chest cave on Death Mountain. They got them very recently. Yeah, Paradox Cave, yep.
So it looks like, unless, nope, no curse. ACM is the first runner to clear Hera and get that second crystal. Getting some Zora money.
Could have used that earlier, but thanks, I guess.
So that means there's no more items inside Hera. So ACM is in the clear for now.
Yeah, for sure.
But that doesn't mean that nothing is in, say, the left side of Mire.
Mm-hmm.
Such as, say, the fire rod.
Yep, that's true.
ACM is opting to skip out on Spiral Cave, it looks like, and go directly to Dark Death Mountain. Not even bothering to open up Turtle Rock, but considering it's a pendant, I'm not that surprised.
It is Bombo's medallion, though, and they do have the cane, so they're... I mean, if there is something in that first chest, that could also be a...
Mm-hmm. Elminster is actually doing the Spiral Caves, so considering ACM doesn't have the mirror, unless there's a mirror here or in Super Bunny Cave, ACM might not be checking Spiral Cave for quite a while. But it is just a heart container. Gyarados going to be picking up his lamp here as well. Lagging a bit behind, but I don't think it's an insurmountable gap.
There's the flippers.
Okay. So the flippers and Bombos and Mitts. You know what that opens up, right?
Yep. I know exactly what that opens. That opens up our good friend Ice Palace.
Probably where ACM is going to be headed right now. Nope. Making a liar of me.
Never mind.
This is interesting. Doing this instead of ice. I expect Elminster to go directly to Ice Palace, though.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of pointing in that direction, especially what he just got on this mountain. And before the mountain, the hook shot, too. It's really pointing him in that direction.
ACM's making a pretty big gamble here, going to Palace of Darkness without a bow, or the mirror for that matter. I mean, mirror isn't counted in the logic, but it's good to have just for saving time.
Yeah, makes warping back to the entrance and just kind of navigating a little more comfortable.
This is very different from how ACM was playing last night, honestly.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if that's like why. Like maybe he's like trying to think more about like this kind of item clearing as opposed to the overworld stuff that he did yesterday, which is what brought on this tiebreaker.
Yeah, that or he could have underestimated Hippo. And just hoped that execution and full clearing would have gotten him the win.
Yeah, maybe.
But since version 27, it's very possible for Bo to be fairly deep inside Palace of Darkness. In fact, too deep.
Yeah.
As we have had a seed in this tournament where they had to restart or like reschedule because the seed was broken and they had a key lock.
Yeah, and there's also been a couple of potential scares with just the possibility of Bo being in that position. But yeah, there was definitely a race that was had to be rescheduled because of that.
So not all that surprisingly, Elminster is going into Misery Mire here, which is going to be interesting to see what's on the left side. Gyardo went through it, but wasn't able to actually get those 2 chests, and we know there's one more item left inside Misery Mire, I think?
Yeah, there is.
And ACM... What? Oh, ACM is setting up a water walk, it looks like. Nope. I think ACM just forgot something.
He forgot that he checked that.
Interesting that he's deciding to do this instead of go to Ice Palace. So anybody who doubts that ACM is human, there's your proof. Unless he had a little bit of a, I don't know, he had to reboot his processors or whatever, download more RAM.
Windows update.
But we are going to be seeing probably Catfish here from ACM.
Catfish always one of those locations that you just don't like visiting because it's so far out of the way, but when you go to Pyramid, this is probably the best time you have to check it, so probably good that he's doing this now.
Elminster having to burn a red potion, because I guess he took a lot of damage here in Misery Mire, but soon we're going to be seeing what Gyardo had to leave behind.
Ooh!
We need Willard's slide whistle in here. That is unfortunate for Gyardo. One of the worst time losses in terms of, like, I don't know, a single mistake.
Yeah. Whenever you fall down that middle hole, you descend 2 floors, not just 1, so makes getting back here a little extra annoying.
I'm just really confused why ACM is avoiding Ice Palace. The logic is pointing him directly towards it, unless he's going to be checking the purple chest right now. There was an item left in Thieves Town, so maybe
there was.
Is going to be doing that first.
He is.
This is a big play, honestly. You know, it's very possible that it's something great in Thieves Town, but it's also kind of slow.
Yeah, because you have to go all the way to that top left corner, hit that crystal switch, and then go back downstairs. You have to make a lot of ground in here just to get back to that chest.
But this check right here has the potential to, like, more or less cement the victory for ACM.
True.
Because I don't think anybody is going to be checking this chest for quite a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if ACM was setting up a death warp there or what, but he is kind of low on health.
Okay, Elminster looks like he'll be finishing up Vitreous with not too many issues.
Nothing but a 5-hour upgrade inside the Thieves' Town big chest. And Elminster finishing off Misery Mire. Vitreous poses not that much threat if you have Tempered Sword and the cape. ACM still does not want to go in Ice Palace unless ACM forgets that he has the ability to go into it. Gonna be seeing that Dark Sewer chest, which I believe only has a fairy in a bottle. And Elminster has to re-enter Misery Mire because he went directly to Vitreous, because I guess it was the big key was on the right side.
Yeah, it was. I think he's just betting on the okay, if there's an item in Vitreous, I don't have to come back here and go in that ridiculously long torch room.
Another really big play that we could be seeing at some point is Turtle Rock, because we have access to it, technically. I've had seeds before where both rods were inside Turtle Rock, but considering it's a pendant, we only need one of them to be in there, necessarily.
The other item we get in Misery Mire is the Half Magic upgrade, so that's good. Doesn't progress the seed at all, but at least doesn't have to go through that long torch puzzle that has that transition.
Yep.
Okay, Elminster doing what we've been wanting to see for a while now, going into Ice Palace finally.
ACM is continually disappointed. Come on, ACM, you have the bombos, you have the flippers. What else do you need? Oh, I guess we're going into Mire.
Okay, sorry, I had to mute for a minute. I took a bad time to take a big drink of water. As soon as he bombed that dig spot item, that was a little too much. Gordo did get the bow.
Yeah, I missed that. Where was that?
I don't know. I was recovering from the bomb being blown up on Dig Spot, but Spike Cave.
Oh, that is actually massive. The bow opens up 2 of our dungeons here for full completion, and they are both crystals.
Yeah, and that spot was available at the time. They were on Dark Death Mountain, too.
Yeah, a lot of runners don't like to think of it in the same quote-unquote clump as Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot Cave.
Right.
So I'm always interested to see what's inside of it, especially if a runner decides to do it as part of that check. So honestly, considering Palace of Darkness was, I believe... I mean, it's obviously always bow-locked, but I think, like, the backside was completely bow-locked.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So, it'll be very interesting to see how this pays off for Gyardo versus Elminster and ACM. ACM's going to be getting his Crystal here in Mire. Elminster's going to be getting Crystal in Ice Palace, but in terms of, like, sheer items, Palace of Darkness kind of has it beat.
Yeah, I'd say so too. And again, it's one of those things where it's like it's hard to call with rando, but I'd say that before that bow find, ACM and Elminster definitely had a bit of a lead on Gordo, but that bow I think changes a lot because if there is progression in pot, like you said, that could be a definitive lead by that point. Oh, is that ice or fire? I think it was ice.
I believe it was the ice rod. Off of Armos, which could still come into play, honestly.
It could, yeah, for
Or,
sure. It is a green pendant.
so I think in terms of going back to that pedestal hype index is now down to a 1. And
Let's see. Yeah, I think you are right.
but Gyarados not fallen for that. I mean, obviously, it's not really much to fall for if you don't have the Fire Rod yet. But ACM is going. I don't know. ACM said in the chat that he was a bit too tilted and is making mistakes as a result of it, which is unfortunate. But Gyarados going to be able to complete Palace of Darkness here, and we'll probably see where that leads him next.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Ice Palace has really paid off that much, but I mean, it's a dungeon they'll have to complete at some point, so...
Yeah. The thing is, it's like, if Gyarados gets into Go mode
Yeah,
in Palace of Darkness, that's so much quicker.
It already looks like there'll be a Go mode Swamp Palace on the table.
And we do have, from like the items we know are available to us, we do have access to that Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, yep, we do.
So that's another place these guys can check at some point. Elminster and ACM still need to make that Spike Cave play to get that bow, though, which is incredibly crucial.
You know,
like
probably...
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to quickly say that, yeah, they probably won't be visiting that until they start thinking about Turtle Rock or something.
ACM will probably go to Ice before doing that, and also check the Mushroom, which isn't going to lead to anything. Elminster, on the other hand, I don't think Elminster has went into Palace of Darkness yet. And considering we don't have the mirror, desert and swamp are out of the question.
Right.
We also don't have the Fire Rod for Back of Skull Woods. So Elminster honestly has two options here after he kills Cold Stare. And honestly, he's really low on health, so gotta be pretty careful.
Oh, wow, he is.
I don't know if... I think he might have a green potion, and that's it. And a fairy bottle.
Yeah, he has that fairy still, at the very least.
With Blue Mail, though, Cold Stare Hugs still hurt a lot.
Yes, they do.
Oh, man.
Oh, he does not have that fairy.
Yeah, Chad is pointing out ACM's decision to not pick up the cape actually is hurting him a bit here. Because if he had the cape, he would have that ability to clear out Spike Cave. Right now, ACM would have to use a potion to do that.
That's correct.
Not even having the, 14 hearts you need to do it without any assistance whatsoever. And Cape was in the library. ACM knew where it was for so long, and the boots were so early. It's just the fact that ACM's routing put him on the other side of Kakariko Village when he found the boots. And he had already checked all the items down there.
Whenever he went through the Village of Outcasts, he didn't have the mirrors, so he couldn't just mirror back and collect it, so...
Yep. So where Elminster goes right now is going to be very crucial for him. And unfortunately... Well, first he's going to check the Mushroom, which isn't going to be anything. But after that, what he does is going to be very crucial. It looks like he's going to be checking the dig spot. Yeah. Well, ACM actually spending that fairy on Vitreous, but I don't think he's going to have much trouble on the big eye. You just have to hit it in rhythm. So we're coming up to like the last few chests here in Palace of Darkness, and Still no fire rod, it looks like.
Yep, still nothing there, yeah.
We know fire rod can't be on the pedestal, but it could still be in Turtle Rock. And still no mirror as well, but that could very well be our go mode item. And yeah, this is the problem here. Elminster is going into Palace of Darkness instead of checking that Spike Cave or any of the other places he's missed, and it's not going to pay off for him. He's going to end up wasting a lot of time. Whereas g3rd0 was able to go in here and just clear it all in one go.
And ACM popping into the Ice Palace now.
In terms of overworld, I don't think there's many places we haven't seen yet. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't think there is either.
Except for the pyramid.
ACM went by the pyramid item. It was just a red rupee.
I meant what's in the pyramid.
Oh, okay.
Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, that's still open for sure, and we could probably see that for g3rd0 after he finishes this, maybe.
Yeah, because g3rd0 can finish Misery Mire pretty easily. Like, he has the ability to full clear it. Even has the bow to make Vitreous a breeze.
Yeah, with silvers too.
It only has 2 items compared to Ice, but it's also, I think, a lot quicker to full clear than Ice, depending on where the big key is. So,
yeah.
And considering it's the pyramid, like 5 and 6 crystal, I think g3rd0 might go there before going into Ice Palace, which is going to be a really good decision for him.
Yeah, when you get those 5 and 6 crystals relatively early anyway, that's usually a good sign to, okay, maybe I should check this out.
Alright, g3rd0 did actually go into Misery Mire before, but he does know there's one more item left in there, along with the pyramid. ACM finally inside Ice Palace. Unfortunately, it's both too little too late and not where he needs to be. Whereas Elminster is going to be able to get a lot of the items in here. It's not going to be what he needs either.
Definitely not.
Fortunately, g3rd0, fortunately for the other runners and anybody who wants a closer race, g3rd0 is going into Ice Palace and will probably full clear it.
Someone asking in chat what we need for go mode. As far as like what we know, because like the runners have different items they need for their respective go modes, but we still need to know where the fire rod is and where the mirror is. And maybe book if we need to use that to get in the desert for an item that's in there.
Yeah, getting the book would be quite the slap in the face at this point, because
it would, yes, for sure.
Unless it's a pedestal seed, in which I fully endorse it.
Yeah.
So Elminster is also making the play to the Thieves Town big chest. Unfortunately, we know it's just, I believe, an arrow upgrade.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And to comment on chat, Ice Rod is not needed in this seed, asterisk.
Yeah, because if Trinex or Sajrala has an item, or the pedestal in general, yeah, that Ice Rod could be necessary. Probably not, though.
Yeah, and honestly, like, what we've seen so far, the amount of locations left in this game are dwindling.
Yeah, they're dwindling big time.
It's Pyramid, it's Turtle Rock without a Fire Rod. I think that's it.
I think that
Maybe?
is it. I am trying to think if there's another item that we're missing here, but yeah, I think it's just those two.
Elminster took a Death Warp to get out of Thieves Town.
Yeah.
Honestly, our runners really need to, like, they're all zeroing in on where they need to be. Like, Elminster obviously has a lot of overworld to clear, but
I was gonna say ACM's on Death Mountain, but no, he's just using that as a warp point. It's like, yeah, you kind of need to be there for Bo.
yeah, fortunately he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Gyardo is going to have one dungeon that he can full clear, and then the pyramid after he finishes Ice Palace. Elminster is looking like he's going to check this purple chest, which isn't going to be doing him any favors.
ACM is back on Death Mountain here.
Okay, ACM is finally picking up the progression he needs. Unfortunately, it's coming in at the 1 hour mark.
Yeah.
Whereas Gyardo's already completed the 2 dungeons that this bow is helping him with. And Elminster is still cleaning up all the stray locations that he's left. And that's really the peril with taking the sort of routing that Elminster does. I mean, when we started this, I said, you know, that's what Elminster does. He just ignores overworld. He just goes directly into dungeons constantly. And if you have one item out of place, like one item somewhere that isn't in a dungeon that you need to go to, this happens. You just end up scrambling over the overworld, going to each like individual locations that that you didn't check before.
Yeah, and to put this in another perspective, ACM did just get the bow, which is great, but the further progression could be in Turtle Rock, so now he's going to get the bow and check the bow dungeons, and he could have gained some more time if he did take that Turtle Rock check. It could have not been anything, but still, Gordo will probably be there before him.
So this is interesting. We see Elminster going to the mountain. I was thinking that he was going to be going to Spike Cave, but it looks like Elminster is going to Turtle Rock and making that play. So Elminster might think that he's pretty far behind, especially considering he just had to waste a lot of time clearing up overworld locations and getting really nothing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very possible that there's something good here inside Turtle Rock.
Yeah, in that first chest, you can either get the item you need or you get a key, which will kind of help you progress a little bit through the dungeon. Not super far unless you keep getting keys, but still, like, I mean, if you're here, it could be a very quick check. So that's why I always kind of support taking this check if you can't get everything, just in case there is something in that first chest.
I think if I'm in the area and I have the ability to go inside, I'll probably go inside. I mean, best case scenario, you get something you need. Worst case scenario, you clear certain things that you might have to clear anyway.
Oh, just a fire shield, though.
Yeah. Elminster taking a Death Warp, which leads me to believe that he's going to be going to Spike Cave.
Yep, I think that's his next destination.
Which is a very good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Gyardo is just clearing out the rest of Misery Mire, getting what's here on the left side. Nope, looks like we're just going directly to Vitreous, which I don't disagree with, but he's probably going to end up coming back inside and grabbing that half magic on the left side.
Also, with nothing in Turtle Rock, you know what that means, that Pyramid Fairy.
Yep, that is it, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. Like, I really think it is at this point.
So what happens if we find... What happens if we find the Fire Rod in the Pyramid Fairy, and we have to go back to Turtle Rock?
That's a good question.
I think ACM might be happy that he's behind at that point. Get this version 27 logic out of his system.
Yeah.
So yeah, Elminster has probably the second best time right now. ACM is a little bit behind. Actually, no. ACM is a bit ahead because he cleared Eastern. But g3rd0...
Yeah, he did.
g3rd0 is finishing Meyer. And that's going to lead him directly towards, I believe, the only place that can still have progression.
Yeah, I think that's where he... I mean, he's probably thinking that right now after you get this. Okay, I have 5 and 6, so that's got to be the next logical step anyway.
And depending what's in that pyramid, we could either be going to Swamp Palace, or we could be going probably first to Skull Woods and then to Turtle Rock if necessary. Or we could have something like the book and just have an extra special troll.
Yeah, because that's still on the table too. Because that progression could be in Desert for all we know, or on the tablets, or well, one of the tablets anyway.
The irony is, like, this is the kind of seed that I think ACM, the way ACM was playing yesterday,
Yeah,
would have excelled at.
I was actually getting ready to say, yeah, that's it's true. Just kind of just changing his playstyle after yesterday kind of hurt him a little bit in this one.
g3rd0 taking his triple dip into Misery Mire, getting half magic out of it, but no real progression. But now that we have crystals 5 and 6, we'll finally be seeing what's inside that pyramid.
And chat pointing out that, yeah, ACM also still does not have a fire source either.
Oh, that is true. He did not check Hobo, despite having the flippers. Elminster decided to go directly towards Trinex, although I believe he checked a lot of this beforehand. g3rd0 never checked the catfish either, it looks like.
That's right, he hasn't. Anyway, let's see what we got in here. We have the mirror. Okay.
Alright, the mirror is probably the nicest item we could have found here. The only way this trolls us is if it's not in Swamp Palace and it's in one of the few mirror locations that are left in the overworld.
Yeah, because the mirror does open up both Swamp and Desert Palace now. But yeah, it also opens up a couple of mirror locations too, so there could be some progression in those. But I do kind of like the idea of starting from Swamp first, because there's two mirror locations very close to swamp, so we can kind of check these alongside the swamp chest.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what Gyarados doing first. If Fire Rod is in this chest here, we can very easily just say, who cares about full clearing swamp? Who cares about left side swamp? Let's just go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a good play. What I don't think is a good play is skipping out on Catfish, even though we know it doesn't have anything good. ACM's having a little bit of trouble here in this this turtle room, dark turtle room. Not having the fire rod or the lamp means there's no way to see these jerks.
Mm-hmm. So he's gonna keep on hammering until he hears that door open sound.
Finally. Elminster making his way back into Palace of Darkness. I don't know which chests he hasn't actually picked up, but I guess there's an item left over. While ACM is losing, you know, some time here from this dark turtle room, this is still stuff that's gonna give him an edge over at least Elminster. I want to remind people that this is a race for second place, so it really only matters who wins here.
Yeah.
But, it still doesn't really feel good to come in last in a 3-player race.
Mm-hmm. Especially when the tiebreaker was only just decided that it would happen yesterday, and could have been a chance where it didn't even happen at all.
So unfortunately, we just get to see the long, long, long dungeon that is Swamp Palace.
Yeah.
Gyarados probably will be skipping out the left side, at least for now, but it's very likely that the Fire Rod is over there, or even, you know, at the Graveyard Ledge or in Checkerboard Cave. Honestly, like, ACM isn't that far behind.
And he's really not. I mean, he's gonna go get his mirror right now. So if he decides to do the ACM Helen thing and check some overworld stuff before jumping in the swamp, that could completely change the standings here.
Yeah. That's actually what I'm kind of hoping for. ACM to just go and check Graveyard Ledge or Checkerboard Cave first, instead of going into Swamp. Honestly, considering, you know, ACM thinks he's behind, thinks he's making a lot of mistakes, this might be his saving grace.
Ooh, Butter Sword and Swamp and the Fire Shield.
So where ACM goes right now is going to be pretty big.
Yep, definitely.
Go to 6. Go to 6. Go to Desert. Actually, forgot all about Desert.
No, he's going to this Dark World entry.
I think that's kind of weird. If you think you're playing from behind, you would make riskier decisions. But it looks like ACM I don't know. Maybe ACM just thinks that despite the mistakes he's made before, the way the seed shook out, it kind of still maybe put him in the lead or close to it.
Maybe, and I mean that is true. I mean he's only like half the dungeon behind right now.
But unfortunately, while I think ACM, if he went, say, straight to Checkerboard Cave and the Fire Rod was there, I think ACM could come back with a Go Mode Swamp Palace.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We will be seeing what's on the left side here with Gyarados. Nothing in the main path was what we wanted. Maybe ACM will actually do left side first.
Maybe. I will say I do like the decision from Gordo to actually just go straight to the boss right away anyway, because there have been scenarios where the Go Mode item was in the back half of Swamp, so because of that, you could just clear out the dungeon, you were close to the end anyway, and then wouldn't have to double back for these two chests over here.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the meta, more or less. Like, if you only need one item in Swamp, like for Go Mode, just do it, and then do the left side if need be.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're someone that you like Gem, just don't do it at all, ever.
Yeah, if you come here much earlier, then yeah, I think it kind of is not too bad to just do a full clear right then and there.
But if ACM does left side and the Fire Rod is there, I mean,
yeah,
that could be. We could have a race again.
We will definitely.
So ACM, go left side. Do it. Do it. Don't do that.
I don't think so.
Well, I wasn't counting items. I don't know how many are left in here.
Apparently just that hard.
So nothing good in Swamp. Swamp was a bit of a red herring. I mean, we had to complete it, obviously.
We had to complete it. We did get Butter Sword, but at the same time, there's like just not much of a difference between Buttered and Tempered, at least for me anyway.
Right. And Elminster, unfortunately, is also falling for the bait.
Oh boy. So yeah, I think now, like, just based on what we're watching, we can see like kind of the like who's in the lead, who's in second, who's in third, kind of at this point, because yeah, they have like there might be like a few small differences. Like obviously ACN doesn't have the cape or the lamp, but still like just they're on the same progression right now.
Mm-hmm. So Gyarados is making the second biggest the biggest play here and going into Desert. We haven't seen Desert at all yet, so there's two items in here. There's also Checkerboard Cave. Pedestal Hype is dead, so it not being Green Pendant means that it's just those two items.
Mm-hmm. There it is! Fire Rod in Desert.
Okay, so at 1 hour, 18 minutes, and about 30 seconds, Gyarados has finally entered Go Mode.
And Skull Woods being the last Crystal Dungeon completed. So it was kind of weird to see that one as the last one.
It is odd. So, if ACM leaves, and he's doing it. ACM's doing it. We might still have a race.
That's okay. That's a very smart play.
Go to Desert. Do it. He's doing it.
Yes, he is. Okay, getting some time back. That's always nice to see, especially in a race this close.
This isn't like we thought Gyarados was very, very far ahead. Like, it's become a lot closer.
Yeah, it has completely.
And ACM also opting to do a similar route, go directly into Desert. And we know he'll be getting Go Mode here in about, like, 30 seconds or so. Elminster, unfortunately, still knee-deep in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, it's only going to be about a 2-minute difference, even less than that. But yeah, only 2 minutes.
And that could all come down to Ganon's Tower gambles. And execution, honestly.
And yeah, ACM is really, really great at execution, too. They all are. Again, not putting down any of the runners, but just from watching ACM, he just... Such great execution.
Interesting that ACM decided to quit out instead of just mirroring out and then fluting. Losing a bit of time by doing that, I think, but
yeah, I think so too. A few
not
seconds.
a huge deal. So g3rd0 getting his final crystal, and that means we have a game. Would you like to do the honors?
Sure thing, everybody. We have 22 chests in Ganon's Tower. We're seeing a bunch of numbers in chat right now. You are guessing which number you think the Ganon's Tower big key is going to be located in. Some people just kind of go by locations, but if you are subbed to this channel or any of the other Speed Gaming channels or have donated 250 bits, you'll be entered into a chance for the leaderboard, so make sure you get your numbers in. I think it's going to be in chest number 8.
You taking my number? Everybody's taking my number now.
I always guess 8.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I'm usually checking 8, though the chest that I typically meant for being 8 has kind of changed in the meta.
Right.
Since the last tournament. So I should probably change the number at some point. ACM is just beasting his way through Skull Woods here. The Butter Sword, ACM has zero trouble taking out Mothula, while g3rd0 is entering Ganon's Tower once his animation is done.
And Elminster
is also making.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say Elminster is also making the good play of going directly into deserts, so he'll be in go mode here within about 30 seconds as well. Unfortunately, not knowing that he's a few minutes behind even ACM.
Yeah, looking at these times, it's going to be like less than a 5-minute difference between first and third at this current point. So, yeah, really, really close. And like Elminster, definitely not out of it, I'd say. He has some ground to make up for sure, but definitely not out of it.
So these are all like really good runners. In terms of like safeties, we don't have the powder, which could become an issue if any of these runners decide to take a lot of damage in the gauntlet per se. We do have Blue Mail, which is nice. We do have Butter Sword, which is nice. But that is something to keep an eye out for.
And the cape shouldn't be a big deal either, just because of Butter Sword, and you won't need too much time to avoid those fire bats, so right. ACM should be fine there.
Yeah, cape is mostly useful if you only have the Master Sword. But Butter Sword, Ganon shouldn't take any more than 1 cycle per phase.
Right, exactly.
So let's see, if ACM decides to go left side, this could be insanely close. g3rd0 decided to go right side, like the typical right side route, not finding anything but a bee in a bottle. You see, I'm checking these 2 chests first, but we'll see what happens after that.
He's going back up. Okay, he's going to gain some more time here, I think.
Oh my. We have a race.
We do.
Also, Bob lives, so shoutouts to Bob if we get to him. So, I'm just, yeah, just really want to see what happens here.
Yeah, definitely. This could even be one of those seeds where there might be a big key in the tile room, too.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then ACM is probably not coming out ahead, unfortunately. Unless he wants to be a super gambler. Not Rando Room, so it's either Bob's Chest, Ice Armos, or Tile Room.
Mm-hmm.
I also haven't really been counting chests.
I
think our tracker...
Like you said, we only have 5 chests left anyway, so you can kind of figure it out from there.
Mm-hmm. And I think our tracker, we didn't give a call out, or a shout out yet, Dude, will keep track of the chests in Ganis Tower. It's not at Bob's chest.
Okay, 25% chance it's in tile room.
Vanilla.
19.
Well, we were way off.
Yeah, definitely.
g3rd0 not even bothering to check the other chests. I mean, he has silvers, he has butter sword. Don't need much else. But ACM is hot on his heels. Elminster is finally opening up Ganon's Tower about, I don't know, 4 minutes behind, maybe?
Yeah, something like that anyway.
Shoutouts to RD Walsh V, who got the shout out from the Speed Gaming bot.
According to the leaderboard, he has a lot of wins on that guessing game, so good job on being a wizard, I guess.
So ACM is going upstairs while g3rd0 is about midway through the gauntlet. Considering how close this is, ACM is probably not going to be feeling that great about coming so close to being in first, especially with the brain farts he had around the middle of the run.
Yeah.
We'll see if we get a one-cycle Landmos here with silver arrows. We do.
Nice, very nice.
g3rd0 is low on health, though. And I don't know if he has a potion anymore.
I'm not sure, and like you said, there's no powder in here, so we'll not be able to make use of the safety fairies in the room before Moldorm.
ACM's making a pretty quick work of Gauntlet here. Only having a few hiccups. Looks like g3rd0's freezing a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Bad time to freeze. Oh.
Okay, he's still working, a little bit of lag, but he's still working through Ganon's Tower.
ACM getting trolled a little bit here in that ice floor, or ice room of the gauntlet. Also missing out on the one cycle land mode 2.
Ooh.
This is actually kind of stressful.
Yeah.
Gyarados back.
Okay, and he's on Moldorm too.
Yep. Not having any troubles, at least as far as we know.
Yeah, he's back to full health, so he must have used a potion or got some kind of restore item.
Probably got a full heart, maybe. Or not a full heart, a piece of heart.
Okay.
Got a full heal off of that, so that's gotta be really nice. Don't have to worry about Ganon hugs or anything anymore.
Ooh, was that a triple or double? That looked like a triple, but it may have just been a double.
Not sure. We'll see in a bit. Got a nice double on the second form. Oh, it was a double, so we got 2-2-1, and then probably another one to close it out. So yeah, Gyarados is, I'd say he's in it to win it at this point.
Yep, all he has is the Ganon fight, and he's got a full health, he's got silvers, he has Butter Sword, he has a mail, so he's pretty well equipped for the task here.
I mean, a Ganon Fall could decide this easily.
It could. Yeah, it definitely could. And nerves are probably shaking right now, too, so...
So yeah, ACM is going to be entering Aga 2, while Gyarados is entering Phase 3 of Ganon.
And just a reminder, like, this is for getting into the next phase of the tournament, and this tiebreaker would have not happened. Gordo would have not had a chance to actually play into the second part of the tournament if the match yesterday went the different way. If ACMLM beat Hippo, this match would not be happening. So,
right. So that's gonna feel extra painful.
Yeah.
Getting the torch glitch, though, is not really that big a deal with silvers and half magic. And Gyarados takes out Ganon.
All right, there it is. Just as ACMLN enters the Ganon fight.
And Gyarados enters the Triforce Chamber in first place with an SRL time of 1:33.08. GG to Gyarados.
Yeah, GG definitely. That was a really, really great race to watch. And I think it came down to him checking Spike Cave when he did. That kind of put him in a dungeon clear mindset. There were other items to find, but that definitely helped.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Like, he notably skipped Catfish and a lot of other locations.
Definitely.
We'll see if Gyarados wants to come in for an interview.
Okay. As far as ACM is concerned, I know that he does not do interviews, so we'll probably not be hearing from him, but he will be in chat if you guys want to ask him any questions.
And just as ACM is finishing, Elminster is about to be on the final floor before Ganon, or Aghanim too, I should say.
Yeah, I'd say it's not even going to be like 5 minutes between all three of these runners, so very, very close finishes from all three. All of them bringing their own unique advantages to this particular race, I'd say.
Yeah, this is a very scary group. I honestly thought it could have been like anybody making
definitely.
it to the bracket stage. Nothing, no trouble from Trolldorm 2 in Elminster. And honestly, the Agate 2 patterns were pretty good, so I assume Elminster will probably get like a 3 or 4 cycle. Gyarados OBS crashed because he was switching sound devices. I have the same problem too if I unplug my headset.
Right, yeah. It is also interesting pointing out as well that when both ACM and Gordo entered Go mode, there was only 2 minutes separating them, and then ACM did bring it down to 1 minute, so he gained 1 minute in the process of that, so...
We're seeing Elminster entering Ganon.
Yeah, like I said, about 5 minute difference from the same Go mode differential as well, so... Very close execution for the entire endgame.
Yeah, it's also interesting due to the pretty vast difference in routing that it ended up being so close at the end. But I mean, it was mostly a full clear seed anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I see Gyarados is in the waiting room, so we'll bring him in right now. Good game, Gyarados.
GG.
So about that seed, how did you like that one?
Like everything was gated by Zora, which I did absolutely last. It was the last location I could have checked, so I felt really behind the entire race, to be honest. Like everything came after the hookshot. It opened up everything. And the only thing I felt good about was finding the fire rod without looking too much. And yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a trolley location. Like, getting Mirror late in the game does not feel good, especially if it's not your Go mode item.
Yeah, there's so many mirror overboard spots to check that you really don't want to go back to. But yeah, I just decided to go to Desert because dungeons in V27 and Fire Rod list T-Rock didn't sound too appealing to me.
Yeah, the biggest thing you did that really put you ahead, at least I believe, was the fact that you were the first person to go to Spike Cave. Like, for a while, nobody went to Spike Cave. So you had that bow, and you were clearing out Eastern and then Palace of Darkness, while ACM and Elminster were kind of scrambling, doing other things, and wasting time in
I
Ice
almost
Palace.
skipped that, because I felt so behind because I found the hookshot so late that I was thinking about overworld spots I could just skip, and I was very close to just skipping Spike Cave, but thankfully I didn't.
Yeah, just judging by the SRL chat, and there were comments made kind of throughout. Like I feel like everyone felt like they were behind in that seed, just because of how it was playing out.
Yeah. ACM forgot that he had bombos. He said that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, that definitely is.
And with Elminster finished with Ganon, we'll be bringing him in here shortly as well. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting seed. I made a comment early on about how like all three of you racers have very different styles of routing, whereas ACM likes to play it safe and check like literally everything. And you're more middle of the road, like follow the logic, whereas Elminster tends to just dungeon dive and skip out on overworld. And it's interesting that you all ended up within about 5 minutes of each other. But before that, we'll bring in Elminster, who's now in the waiting room. Good game, Elminster.
Oh man.
What a seed.
Yeah. It seems like we all forgot Meyer for a long time.
I mean, Gyarados tripled it, Meyer.
I went there early without a fire source first. And then the second time I rushed through the boss, and then the third time I went left side. And all for nothing, pretty much. Oh wait, it was Crystal 5 or 6 for the mirror, that's right.
I dipped T-Rock and then found the bow after that. But that was like very late on my list of things to do.
Yeah, we were discussing before you got in here that I think the biggest reason that Gordo took this is just because he did check Spike Cave first, and that kind of led him into a dungeon clearing mindset. And after he got both of those 5 and 6 crystals, that pretty much put him on the path to the Pyramid Fairy, and that's pretty much to the end of the game from that point.
Yeah, it was really the key that unlocked everything. I wasn't sure, like I had no idea where everyone else was when I found that, but when I found it I realized it was huge. It was likely huge anyways, and yeah, going into Ganon's Tower, nobody was done yet, I didn't really know where I stood.
Yeah.
But I did get trolled a lot.
Yeah, and that's kind of the peril with like dungeon diving and skipping out on a lot of overworld, because you did end up spending like a bunch of time around the middle of the seed, just clearing out locations that you skipped earlier or just didn't have time to check earlier, until you finally got to Turtle Rock and then towards the Spike Cave.
Yeah, I started to have a feeling that maybe T-Rock was the answer and that you didn't need Fire Rod for it. And also Spike Cave is just a really... Spike Cave is a pretty crappy check in a lot of situations.
I'm honestly surprised that none of you decided to check Turtle Rock when you initially were up in Dark Death Mountain, because you had the ability to get inside. I mean, you had neither rod, but it's becoming more of like the meta to just go inside of Turtle Rock, even if you can't and have no hope of clearing it.
The main reason that I didn't, I don't know why I didn't actually. Oh, I didn't because the route that I took, I went Hera and then jumped down for Spiral Cave and then came back up to do the Dark Death Mountain stuff, but I didn't have the mirror, so I was at the top with Turtle Rock not open, so it was kind of not convenient.
Okay, yeah, I
But-
can see
Exactly the
that.
same reason for me.
But like it is a decent check if it's convenient, even if you don't have Fire Rod or anything, because the information of whether it's open or not is kind of valuable. Like I saw that Fire Shield in the first chest may have been something else for others if they'd gone in, but I was like, okay, so Turtle Rock is off the table, that's good to know.
Yeah, unless you were to find, say, the Fire Rod in the Pyramid, which could have led you on a wild goose chase.
I was so worried that I missed the Fire Rod in a trivial location. It was really weighing on my mind the whole seed, because it seemed to be the biggest It was the item to me that was outstanding the most, that I really wanted.
Cool. Well, either of you have anything else to add about this wonderful seed?
Not directly, but shoutouts to Hippo for making this possible yesterday. I'm still
Yeah, for real.
Yep.
I kind of like how this whole group turned out in a funny way. Because my match with acmlm, I lost that by only 1 minute, and so that, as long as he went against Hippo, he's pretty much a shoo-in to advance instead of me. And then he loses to Hippo, and then we have this tiebreaker, and then ACM loses to g3rd0 by 1 minute. So it's like, it's so many almosts. It's crazy. And we had probably the runner that it was most of a long shot for at this point, advancing.
Yeah, because when you think about it, you were the only one to beat Ampharos, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I was.
So yeah, that was another unique thing, is that ACM was the only one to lose to Hippo, and you were the only one to beat Ampharos, and then Gordo right in the middle of both of those scenarios. So
just kind of profiting from everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I guess we can more or less close this out. There is another tiebreaker match happening literally right this second between Zygarde and JSR2 over on Speed Gaming 1. And we also have another tiebreaker on Speed Gaming 1 as well between Mike the V, Zero Rush, and Wolfie83 to close out the group stage of the Fall Randomizer Tournament. So, yeah, I think we'll see probably sometime tomorrow what the actual brackets will look like, and then we'll go from there. I guess if you liked what you saw from any of these runners, give them a follow. Give a follow to Slim Kirby here, one of our commentators, and a follow to Dude, our tracker, if you'd like. And
yeah, also follow to Ruble as well, whose link is also in there. Had a lot of fun commentating this. This is a great tiebreaker to watch, just in terms of how it even got set up, and then just actually seen it in action. Only 5 minutes separating first from third, so really entertaining race to watch.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that about does it for us. I'm going to sign off and go watch that other race.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that too, actually.
I urge anybody else to do the same. So thanks for watching, and what are you still doing here? Go over to Speed Gaming 1.
Yep, both races are going to be on that channel. The next one following right after that one. So if you want to watch more Randomizer, go over there right now. It should be a lot of fun for the rest of the night.
All right. I am peacing out. Later.
Later, everyone.